Hello and welcome to the North Bank Podcast. I'm your host, Holly. We are recording on Thursday evening late, and it is now time, it is unavoidable, it is now time for us to preview the one game I dread every season. So I am joined by Stef and Chris, and I hope they will fill me with hope and excitement ahead of Sunday's clash or visit of Manchester United. Hi guys.
Hello.
Good evening. How are you, Holly?
Yeah, fine.
Can I just ask, why is this the game you look forward to the least, Holly?
As my mate, who would probably tune in for this bit, said he sent me a T-shirt which has "Fergie ruined my childhood" emblazoned across the front of it. And it wasn't just my childhood; it went well into my 20s as well.
Oh, it was all my childhood.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't know. It's just, and I looked. We've won 6 and drawn 1 of our last 7 Premier League ties against Man United at home. Like, our record's brilliant in the league against them. I'm just filled with, and I can't believe, we stanked the place out at Old Trafford opening day of the season and we managed to win the game 1-0. I mean, I can't believe that happened. So it's just I'm the wrong person to fill anybody with optimism ahead of any game against Manchester United. I just fear the worst. It's self-preservation, manage expectations, fear the worst, and you'll be, at worst, justified. But hopefully pleasantly surprised. I don't know. It's just, Chris, how are you? Because you're of a similar vintage to me, so
Yeah, well, probably worse because I bear the Liverpool scars as well from back in the sort of late 70s and the 80s, and then United kind of dovetailed with them to sort of compound my misery, and so I cannot enjoy or be. I am going to the game. I am coming to the game.
Okay.
So at least I can sort of feel. I can vocalise, and I feel like I can kind of encourage the boys on, which is far worse when I'm at home. My take on that. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it at all.
and it's Man United for me rank ahead of Spurs in terms of rivalry, and I know that I get a bit of stick from proper North London Arsenal fans for that, but I'm like, they just do. Spurs are a source of amusement constantly. I don't take them seriously at all. They're brilliant, and they never fail to deliver on the Spursiness front. I'm not quite checking the calendar to see when St Totteringham's Day is upcoming this year, but it can't be far from now.
Well, and also they've been leapfrogged, in my estimation anyway, by Chelsea, who were a sort of plucky cup team until Abramovich came along. So they've leapfrogged them. So it's United then Chelsea for me as kind of.
Steph, you're a wee bit younger. Who's your kind of number one rival as an Arsenal fan?
Yes, it's United. I was plumb for those Fergie years in the 1990s. Born at 84, so my first real season of being aware of Arsenal is around this kit time, sort of that early 90s. The first winning the cup in 93. Well, the Premier League started 92, and for those first the rest of the 90s was basically Alex Ferguson until he was really challenged by us.
It didn't help that I was in Ireland and United were pretty crap for the first few years I was there, and really good friends of mine weren't that bothered about football until United started to win. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they were diehard United fans, and they were everywhere. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. And if I think of United and historically, I just go back to Brian McClare and Nigel Winterburn and a penalty at Highbury, and I think I trace it back. Although actually, I trace it further back to Frank Stapleton, being a kind of an Irish Londoner. When Frank Stapleton left Arsenal to go to United, I mean, to be fair, Robin van Persie and Stapleton are equal in, my list of my little black notebook of.
They're dead to you.
Yeah. Okay, look, we'll get on to United presently, but before that, we must have a little look back on Inter. The Inter game, but also maybe more broadly speaking, the kind of varying successes of the English clubs, the Premier League clubs in the Champions League, because the top 8 have contained five Premier League teams. Laughably, Man City, the one team not in the top 8, they're sitting pretty in 11th. Yay! But we've been copying this ridiculous fan narrative that we're boring to play against, and well, our Champions League record: played 7, won 7, scored 20, conceded 2, but beating the likes of Bayern Munich comfortably, who are streets ahead in the Bundesliga, beating Inter Milan away, who are 6 points clear in Serie A, beating one of the meanest defences in Spain, Atletico Madrid, pretty comfortably. We're so good. So what is it? What is it? I mean, we all know what it is. It's the green-eyed monster, but...
There's a bit of that, but there's also that thing where the teams are having a go more in the Champions League. Teams of a higher calibre in their own respective leagues are playing their game more against us, which
absolutely.
Look
at
slightly more.
The current
I know
champions,
it's rhetorical, but just to sort of get it in there.
The current champions came to Arsenal, didn't have a shot on target, and were lauded for it 2 weeks ago. Man City, what did Pep say? He just basically played a mid-table team coming to Arsenal and counter-attacked us, transitioned us, got a goal and defended it until Martinelli lobbed.
He also complimented us in saying that we made them play that way to a certain extent as well. On that point that you made, Chris, about we went away to Inter Milan, so in the San Siro. In the group stage, they're still looking to secure their place in the top 8 to avoid a playoff. I mean, are their fans and their manager and their players really going to sit back and just accept that, Arsenal are so much better than us? No, they're going to have the confidence to say, no, we can go toe-to-toe with you. And not enough teams do that against us. Majority of the Premier League teams that we face now simply say, OK, well, Arsenal are coming, we'll sit back, we'll low block it, and we'll try and hit them on the counter. And yes, it's on us to try and break that down and solve it, but we're pushing, we're playing those high lines, we're trying to force the game, but the opposition aren't.
Yeah, that's where the set pieces come in. Exactly. We have to come up with another way of doing it. And I must reference Rory Talks does a really good TikTok video on this in particular. But the standout observation he made for me was that when we meet teams for the second time, their defensive line is even lower. So it started off pretty low, but they realised that wasn't enough. So it's an even lower block next time round.
Behind the goal line.
Yeah, but on the goal line, the entire team. Shoot.
Okay.
Just shoot. You won't get it past us. I'm not moving. Nothing stopping a team doing that. That'd be mad. Could you keep the ball out for 90 minutes doing that?
Not with the way Gyökeres hits the ball so hard.
I tell you what, there'd be a lot of injuries, wouldn't there?
And he would go into the net.
But they'd be off with handball and broken noses and kind of testicles coming out up here. Maybe we'll edit this bit out.
Sounds like something you get in the Beano comic or something.
But the stat that Rory put up as well, which was a nice graphic, slightly complicated, but the essence of it was we have faced the lowest blocks of any team in the Premier League, and we play with the highest defensive line, i.e. we are pushing up as high as anyone in the league, because obviously we try and play everything in their half, and we have faith in our pace of our centre-halves. Yeah,
and it's different in Europe, clearly, because teams are back. Inter Milan, as you said, needed the points because their top 8 position is vulnerable. I don't know where they are now. I've not looked to see where they've ended the table. I mean, in a good little omen, we've now won twice in the San Siro against Inter Milan. The last time we went on to win the league.
Nice.
So
nice. Inter 14th.
So they've dropped way out because they were 6th or 7th when before the game. They've dropped way down. Just a little nod about our January. Harvey Downs put out a great stat. in January 2026, Arsenal are the first ever top-flight English team to win an away game in 4 different tournament competitions in 1 month. Bournemouth away in the Premier League, Inter in the Champions League, Portsmouth in the FA Cup and Chelsea in the League Cup. Like we are so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. And to think this season, if I look back on the season so far, and you force me to come up with one adjective to describe my feelings, it's just anxious, constant state of anxiety.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's like a typical game, isn't it? We win the game by a single goal, be it 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, whatever it is, and we have no nails left. Your gnomes are at risk of bodily injury, and then we look at the stats after the game, and it's like there's been 0 shot on target. Raya's not made a save. I'm like, why am I not feeling it like that?
Because
we crave it.
And also, like we said with the start when we were talking about Man United, we've been through so many ups and downs that leaves a mark on us. Just referencing that, literally today, guy I work with, Dan, he knows about the pod. Don't know if he listens. Hello, Dan. Young Arsenal fan. He's a young history teacher, and I keep going to stress the fact that he's young because he sort of saw me in the corridor today and said, "You're right," and I went, "Yeah, you're right," and he went, "No. Are you all right?" Because he's an Arsenal fan, and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "We're amazing, aren't we?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, we are." And he's like, "Well, I vaguely remember like 2004, but not really." So there is a generation of Arsenal fans. This is the best they have seen. And it is, like you say, for us, we're anxious because the scorelines might be close, or the games seem a little bit tighter than they perhaps are. But we are really, really good, and we shouldn't be embarrassed to say, or feel nervous to say, or feel like we're jinxing it, because they keep producing these high floor of performances, and the Inter one was one of those. Lots of changes, but we still were on the front foot. I talked about it in our instant reaction. 4 players: Saka, Eze, Marino, and Jesus. Pressing forward, pinning Inter Milan in. And Inter Milan got through a couple of times, but...
Can I ask you a question about that? Ødegaard wasn't playing. Do you think that made a difference? Because I read somewhere where since his injury, must be the knee knack he got, he's been a little bit less aggressive with his press.
Yeah, maybe. I heard a counter stat, though, which was on the flip side, because obviously the player that replaces him is Eze. So the stat is, and it's a small sample size, and the podcast that I listened to referenced it as well. I can't remember which one it was. Our win percentage with Eze in the team from the start is 53%. Our win percentage without Eze in from the start is 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a small sample size with Eze starting, but still, that's pretty...
That's not great.
That is emphatic, isn't it?
So essentially, he's been in most of the disappointing results.
But he did start at Inter.
But he started at Inter,
and Spurs
that lifts it up, and he scored a hat-trick against Spurs. So it's one of those things. But it probably is also points to the fact that he's a player that's come from a very different environment. And that's not to put Palace down, but it is very different. They're a team that are those other low block teams we were talking about, who, when they face bigger teams, will try and soak up pressure and hit on the counter. That's what they were devastating at, and were very successful at until recently. And he's come to Arsenal where the expectation is we're always on the front foot and there's little room to manoeuvre, and you got to do a little bit more with the time that you don't have. Gyökeres is arguably the same, to the step up from the Portuguese league. So there'll be some stats, I'm sure, that will spin Gyökeres' time as not very good. But again, I saw in the week that of the players bought in the summer, there's only Ekitike who's outscored him, and Ekitike cost another 20 million or so on top of what Gyökeres costs. So, it's one of those.
Yeah. No, I've got an observation about Gyökeres, but I'll save it for when we select the starting 11 for the United game.
Mm-hmm.
City lost 3-1 in midweek.
To who, Holly? To who?
So Bodo Glimt.
Bodo/Glimt. They lost to a team with punctuation. I love it. No offence, Bodo. You're brilliant. You gave us a tough time when we played you in the Europa League and arguably should have beaten Spurs as well.
Let me just posit this question then. I think that was a difficult game, periods. Mm-hmm. But City are now 11th and they're facing down the real prospect of an extra 2 games, which they could really do without. I mean, yes, absolutely, we would love for them to have these two games. But you look back a couple of games to the end of November and their home tie against Bayer Leverkusen. He made like 10 changes for that game. And I looked at who they were home to Leeds 4 days later. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Chelsea or a United that they had coming up, or a difficult away game at Newcastle or something like that. It was home to Leeds. And it was just a bizarre... Yeah. I know he's prone to the odd galaxy brain moment. Was it an arrogance? Because they lost the game to Leverkusen. And now they find themselves where they are. So ironically, in a move that you presume was designed to rest legs, could actually ultimately cause them to play 2 extra games. Thoughts?
Steph, I thought you were going to...
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just going to come in on that in the sense that I feel like... Well, the thing that I've taken from the Bodo Glimt result is it's just made me think about how we're all sat here waiting for them to go on a run, to do a City. I wonder if it's coming. You know, there was something in that performance, and I watched it with much glee, watching it.
Who's
there
that?
was something in the body language of the players. There was something in the attitude of the players. Because there was an element of, you got the impression that maybe this was beneath them, but then when it went against them, it was like, we can't really be bothered with this. It was a real stinker of a performance. Rodri's yellow cards in quick succession were brainless. From arguably the world's best player in that position to absolutely brainless things. Well, the second one especially, to leave his team really wanting then. And all the stuff that's been said about the pitch and, you know, that will be a factor, but come on. You know, you're the richest club in the world and you've got the best players in the world, you know, arguably in certain positions. So I'm not having that at all. For me, that was an attitude game. And Bodo Glimt did exactly what United did to them at the weekend. Just absolutely went for the jugular, because they could just be got at through the middle, no problem. It was amazing to see.
I mean, they scored 3, but could have had 3 more from all accounts. I didn't see it, but
and United at the weekend, yeah.
City were without Bernardo Silva. He was suspended. Semenyo obviously isn't eligible at the moment for Champions League. Gay hasn't been signed. So, but they had like Haaland and Foden and Cherki, and Marmoush was there as well, wasn't he? Came on. Oh, was he there? Because I know he came on.
Oh, I don't know if it was, yeah. But I mean, Haaland played there in league games when he played for Molde. It can't be that unfamiliar. Crazy. But yeah, Pep's is an interesting one because he's got the ex-Liverpool coach who was much more kind of heavy metal football style that Klopp was obviously pushing at Liverpool, which is kind of counter to the tiki-taka control, keep possession football of Pep. So whether Pep's trying to evolve and they're just not quite there yet, or whether he's got one of the biggest squads that he's had to deal with, and yet has had quite a number of injuries to then cope with. Yet one of their academies is one of the best in the world because they just hoover up talent from everywhere. But their form is really not going. They're playing Wolves this weekend, and if you just take the last 4 or 5 games, Wolves are on better form. It's nuts, and Wolves are so bottom of the league. But you look at that game, and Wolves will be just thinking, well, we've got nothing to lose. And there should be some nerves and pressure on City. It's brilliant from our point of view. And like you say, for us, the benefit is we're already guaranteed to not be in the playoffs. Those 2 game weeks available is crucial for us, because we know that there's a few niggling injuries here, players that will be running in the red and others that need to come back in. So any kind of break that we can get should be taken as well. But if then they have to play an extra 2 games, well, there you go, because they're still probably our nearest rivals. I think Liverpool are starting to get their stuff together. They had actually quite a very impressive performance against Marseille yesterday, to the point where I didn't even finish the game because you could see that they were just so dominant. So they're the ones that could potentially go on a run.
A couple of French journalists have said that Marseille approached and played that game really poorly. That they look at, rather than praising Liverpool, they were criticising Marseille for their application. Remember, Liverpool did draw 1-1 at home to Burnley in their last league game. So
true.
And
but
then
had
they drew
a ton of shots. It was a bit of a flattering one.
I just hope Wolves don't go to City and think and just go too gung ho.
Sure.
And then leave themselves completely open at the back. I mean, Wolves, we were lucky to beat Wolves. I mean, we're very lucky to beat Wolves. 2 own goals and one of those in like the 95th minute at home. So, yeah, I'm not. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. That game, I'm not. I'll be. I don't know.
That's Haaland hat-trick territory.
Yeah.
But it will get jittery, like you said, if it's after an hour and it's 0-0. There will be jitters.
I'm looking forward to your message, Chris, that says 1-0 Wolves, so that me and Steph can say too soon.
Too early.
Too early.
Too early.
Yeah.
Got to manifest it, Chris. On the Champions League, someone on Twitter put out that we've already guaranteed £70 million worth of revenue from Champions League so far this season. And I looked into it. You get £1.8 million for every win in the group stage. You get 16.2 is like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a share. That's your fixed rate. That's your fixed fee. You get over 16 million just for being in the group stage. 1.8 million for every win. You get 9.5 million then for getting into the round of 16. This is just prize money. This isn't like gate receipts or sponsorship additions and what have you. So I think we're up like about 70 million quid already. And then, so that was last night. I saw that and I wrote that down. And of course, then Deloitte put out their revenue figures today and wage figures today for clubs. And there's some interesting numbers doing the rounds. Liverpool are top of the Premier League clubs. I didn't look at other clubs, but I've just focused on the Premier League clubs. Liverpool are top. Their revenue, 702 million. Now, this is the 24-25 season. So obviously they're champions, league title winners. 702 million. That's up quite a lot from the season before, up from 614 million to 702. City is second. They've dropped from first. Their revenue was 694. And our revenue is only 4 million below City's at 690. But will be a lot higher than that next year with any luck because of our success so far. United's fourth in that list, 667. That's the lowest they've ever been. I think fourth in our list. They're like eighth in the... Oh, it might be lower than eighth. I can't remember. In the overall, in the kind of the global picture. And Spurs then are fifth. 565 million, so like 130 million pounds less revenue than us, and they were fifth last year. We were fourth. We've gone up a place. We've leapfrogged United. We've leapfrogged United, which is great. The wage bill, Liverpool have the highest wage bill in the Premier League.
Yep.
I didn't write down what it was, but it's the highest. They've leapfrogged. City have the second highest. Chelsea have the third highest. And we have the fourth highest. Now, the best metric to measure expected success is wage bill. Not transfer spend, but wage bill. So, in theory, I mean, we are punching. If we've got the fourth highest wage bill and then we're sitting pretty clear at the top, then we're really outperforming that. I mean, maybe when you get to the level of wages we're talking about, it's maybe, what's an extra 100 grand a week going to mean to someone who's on 400 grand as opposed to 300 grand? I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that. It's like, yes, please. but so they're quite interesting. And just a final one for me, is the Arsenal women, for the first time, topped the list for revenue. Our revenue was 21.5 million. Chelsea's, laughably, because I don't believe any of this, 21.3 in second place. So we're only like 200 grand higher revenue than Chelsea, when our average attendance is like 34,000, I think, this season. It's like, okay, sure. Barcelona in third, quite a bit back, and 18.5 million annual revenue, 24-25 season. So Arsenal women sitting pretty at the top of that league as well. Another league we top. Excellent. So what are your thoughts on, because you'll have both read a lot of the stats and graphics doing the rounds today. Steph, what's your kind of take on revenues and wages?
I mean, it's not something I concern myself with massively, but in the world where other clubs, who we all know, are fighting various lawsuits, at least I absolutely appreciate that we're at least trying to do things the right way, that sustainable approach is being adhered to, and it's still allowing us to push to try and be successful. Because in those lean years that we had, we took over the Emirates, and it was all about paying back and paying that off, and that meant a limitation on what we could fund the team with. And then it just became a bit of a laughing stock with, the players that we were promised and not bought, and we'd buy the odd one and it never really get built on. Well, there is a sustainable model now that means we can challenge, because before it felt like there was a lot of talk about trying to challenge for things, but not really, not with major intent. Whereas now you can't help but feel like that is the case, that they are really pushing to cap this off with some silverware, at least pushing to. And that's all you ask. Every season, we just want to go into the season thinking, right, we have a chance. And that's great. And that all comes from the fact that the club is, doing so well.
I didn't see the wage as a percentage of revenue stat. I know we were sitting on 53% wage to revenue in the previous year's accounts. Either of you see the updated one for this year? I haven't seen it. What percent? We were the second lowest. Spurs were the only team that had a lower percentage in relation to their revenue. So, I mean, that's really good. I know. Remember I said that there was a guy I couldn't remember on X who said that if we wanted to spend £100 million in January, we can. His name is either Kieran or Kevin. I think it's Kieran Maguire is his name. And so you could check out him or Swiss Ramble. And there was an Aston Villa fan, and I didn't write down his name, and he did a really good rundown on the Deloitte data this morning. So I don't know if you could Google Aston Villa fan football finances, he might come up. But it was really good rundown. He was focusing a little bit on Villa, because Villa's wage to revenue was about 93%, but they're down to 70-something% now. So they're getting a little bit more healthy in terms of their own accounts. But Chris,
they've had to slim down their squad. Sorry,
yeah.
And they were playing former players tonight as we record in the Europa League, so that will affect them on the pitch. Yeah,
and Sancho's on loan there, isn't he? And he scored the only goal of the game. They won 1-0 in Fenerbahce. I think they're second in the Europa League table, so they'll be going through to the last 16 comfortably. Chris, any takes on the finances?
Just no. I think you've touched on it all. Really, I just feel like we're in a really good place, and we're a well-run club. It just feels like we're in a good place right now, because there have certainly been times in the last 10, 20 years where we've kind of been a bit not quite sure about the lean Wenger years, for example. So yeah, it's just great, and as I always say, enjoy the journey, and hopefully the destination will come.
I mean, I just want to also voice the opinion of the fans as well. We still pay the most expensive average ticket price for games in Europe, so that's not ideal from a personal point of view. But at the same time, I used to really resent it, because it felt like, we were being told, we're going to challenge, and then we weren't. Whereas now it's like, well, I am paying for the best football in Europe, so I can square it to a certain extent.
isn't that skewed by the season tickets at the top end though? Because our season tickets,
Oh, the
I think they're really good value.
Yeah.
They're lower than any other London clubs.
It's all relative, isn't it?
It's just that if you look at club level and like, you know, your cheapest season ticket at club level is like what, £3,500 or whatever it is now. I don't know, but it's got to be touching £3,000. Like, what was it? 900 quid did we pay this time round? I don't know. I can never work it out exactly because there's always like I've always sold the ticket back to the ticket exchange or something like that, which comes off the balance every year. Yeah. But anyway, right, are we done on Deloitte and we're done on Champions League?
Yeah.
It's quiz time.
Hey.
Are you ready for this one?
Go on, shockers.
As ever.
In the Premier League era,
Da-da-da.
6 players have represented both Arsenal and Manchester United.
In the Premier League era.
In the Premier League era. So I'll leave that with you. We'll do a little review of the United, preview of the United game, and we'll come back at the end.
All right, I'll start writing
Chris.
them down. Yes.
How are you feeling about United?
Well, like I said, I'm glad to be going, but it's one of those I can just never relax and enjoy the game. I just want it to be over. So how am I feeling if I try and strip the emotion out of it? I feel like I'd rather have played them in the latter sort of part of Amorim's tenure so that they wouldn't be quite as rejuvenated as they seem, you know, having come off the back of walloping City. That has really injected some belief into them, I'm sure. I don't expect they'll come to us and play in such a kind of expansive way, you know, as they did at Old Trafford, but they'll certainly have some belief. So we just need to play our game and we should edge it.
We've won 6 and drawn 1 of the last 7.
It means nothing though. When you're watching a game against United, you're not thinking, "Oh well, we did beat them 6 times out of the last 7." Doesn't matter.
No, I'm definitely not thinking that. I saw a United fan today, and like rage baiting, I'm sure, claiming that the level of performance that Carrick got out of the players against City, he said, and the start he had at his stint at Middlesbrough, he said, not only will we beat Arsenal on Sunday, we're going to win the league. It's 200 to 1. I've put money on it. That's what he says.
Okay.
So, I mean, Steph, how are you feeling?
Bullish after that, I must admit. Nervy in the sense that it'll be interesting. I just have no real idea how United are going to approach it. I'm glad their first game wasn't against us, but I'm also not overly happy with how they put City to the sword.
Yeah, but Bodo punctuation Glimt also puts City
but this
to
is
the sword.
the thing. So then the Bodo Glimt game happened, and you think, oh, maybe that was there for City, and more to do with their performance rather than United. But for all our good record, so I've heard several things. Carrick has beaten some of the big hitters in his caretaker spells. So he beat Unai Emery, he beat Arteta, he beat Pep, or when he's had various stints as caretaker boss. Okay, so sure, he's a decent coach, I'm sure. But yeah, so in the short term, he might have an uptick and a response from the players. But also that has to be factored in with the fact that the players are probably reacting to the fact that the situation wasn't overly positive with Amorim in there as well. So, you know, they'll feel a bit of a weight off their shoulders. But yes, we've got a good record against United recently, especially at home. But I feel like, given that this is getting on for United's banter era, when everything seems to be going wrong, we still don't seem to be benefiting from that massively. I can't think of a massive statement win that we've had at Old Trafford. And even the wins that we've had at the Emirates, you know, there's been some real late goals, absolutely. Nketiah stabbing home, and then the Jesus and Rice double quite late on when Ten Hag still talks about that offside decision that wasn't. And so, yeah, they're a really niggly club. And ultimately, it's one of those things, and Arsenal do the same as well, where sometimes the intensity and the level of performance is affected by who you're playing. Man United like playing Arsenal. You know, they get up for it. They beat us in the Cup recently at ours, which was a pretty pitiful game. So, yeah, just it's one of those guys. No idea. We could absolutely stink the place out. We could batter them, but I could see them hitting us on the counter and unsettling us as well. All are possible because it's United. They're a bit erratic, and we might play into the psychology of the fixture. I don't know. But we are at home. I like our record. So, yeah.
Do you think they may be a little bit more cavalier, progressive, because of their performance against City? Now, I haven't looked to see if they've got any players unavailable or not, but he benched Sesko and Cunha, and he played Fernandes, went to back four and played Fernandes in the number 10 role. You know, that's pretty brave move. Mm-hmm. I know when the team news was announced, there weren't many happy United fans. People were questioning it, but they battered City. Like, it was as comfortable as you could get. Was it 3-0 in the end? No, 2-0. But they had the third goal disallowed, didn't they?
But Carrick's obviously looked at the players, and he picked a team based on the system he wanted to play. And that he picked the players that suited that system. Amorim was trying to enforce this back three, this 3-4-3 thing, and he didn't have the players to do it. Carrick's looked at his players and gone, do you know what, for this lot, this works best. Fernandes in the number 10, Maguire basically doing a man-marking job on Haaland, and it worked a treat.
Yeah. Chris, do you think there's any chance that they'll come out at us, or will they be conservative?
I think they're more canny than that. I don't think they will come gung-ho. I think he's clever enough, Carrick, to know. So it'll be a similar. I think what they'll do is they'll look to keep it quiet, keep it calm the crowd down, and impose themselves as best they can, and then try and nick it. I don't think they're going to come, balls on the line, as they say.
They failed to score in 3 of their last 4 games against us, but again, like you said, Steph, with Carrick there, you just don't know how they're going to set up. On paper, their defence isn't, like, if they have a centre-back pairing of Maguire and Martinez, okay.
Little and large.
That. Yeah, I'd take that. Is Mazraoui back from the AFCON in time for this game? I didn't check, because Dalot at full-back would be fantastic for us. But if Mazraoui's back, then Dalot's not starting the game. They're 5th at the moment, so they won't be 5th probably by the time a kickoff arrives, because we're last fixture of the weekend. I don't know, maybe there's a game on Monday, I don't know who it is, but like City play on 3:00 on Saturday, but other teams will have the chance to go past them. They're in a fight for, like, a realistic, like, a lot of skin in the game fight for Champions League places, which would qualify as a really good season for them, qualification for the Champions League after finishing, was it 15th last season. Carrick's on trial. It's Carrick's job to lose. If he does really well, if he gets them into the Champions League, he's got the job. Mm. So if that's at the back of his mind, following on the heels of a thumping win against City, no better interview. What's that word? Not the interview. No better
audition
than turning us over at the Emirates, where our record is ridiculously good this season. I don't know. He might. I don't know. Again, we don't know. And again, we'll have to wait and see until the teams are announced. On the teams then, Chris. Who do you think we're going with? I heard Nkapie is close to a return. But I don't think for this
he'll
game.
Start him. I saw pictures, and I don't know whether they were. You see stuff, and you don't know whether it's AI or whatever. But Calafiori back in training today. I saw pictures. It could be taken 3 months ago, but anyway, he wouldn't make it anyway. So I'm wondering. For me, it's the fullback positions that kind of kept me awake. Thinking whether or not he does that thing with White at right back and then switching Timber, or keeping faith with MLS, who obviously had a good game in Milan. I think that's my preference would be to go with that, just because I prefer Timber in the right back position. So that's what I'm going to go with MLS playing in the left back, as you were, Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, and then we revert to our usual Zubi, Rice, Erdegaard 3, with Jesus up front, flanked by Saka and Trossard. There you go.
Steph?
I am predicting Mikel Arteta's team. None of my romanticism about making loads of changes this time. Raya in goal. Back four. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, MLS, like the balance and the natural shape of having MLS there, and he should be buoyed by a pretty decent performance in the San Siro, like you said. Yeah, good. And then pretty much the same. So Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, front three of Saka, Trossard. Arteta will pick Gyökeres. Gyökeres will start, I think.
Interesting. Okay. I put a question mark alongside the left back as well, and I've written down Lewis-Skelly. The rest of the team's the same as you guys, but I think he'll start with Jesus. And the reason I say this is basically what happened in Milan. Jesus was brilliant, and he occupied, like, he kept the Milan defence on their toes, and his link-up play was excellent. He got 2 goals, instinctive goals, right place, right time kind of goals, everything you want from your centre-forward. Gyökeres then came on, and all of a sudden found he had a lot more space. And I think Gyökeres, last 20 minutes, the game's stretched, he comes on, he'll have much more space with which to run into and score the kind of goals, this kind of profile goals, the goals that he got constantly in Portugal, and the goal he got against, like the chance he had against Forest away that he missed, the goal he got against Inter Milan midweek. So I actually think that, and I don't think you can drop Jesus. I know we've got to manage him, but he won't play. He'll play 60, 65 minutes, and Gyökeres will come on for the last 20 minutes or so.
Do you think game state comes into it? If we are, God forbid, if we're losing and United do the lowest of low blocks, then he won't have any space to run into. No,
he won't. But we'd still probably bring him on along with it, because we'd have to
have other options.
Yes, yeah.
You throw everything at it then, I suppose.
But he's not going to have any. If we suspect United are too canny than to come at us and they'll low block, he's not going to have any space. Yeah. Like, he's not going to have any space. It's only when the tiredness creeps in, and maybe we've nicked a goal from a set piece, and United are having to be a little bit more progressive in their play, stepping up a little bit higher, taking more chances, and they're leaving space at the back. Well, then Gyökeres plays on the shoulder of the last defender, and that's good. And we'd have Madueke with his pace for the last 20 minutes as well. Though Saka had his best game in a while at Inter as well, and Martinelli. So we'd have a lot of pace off the bench to take advantage of that space. But game state obviously will play its role. But I just think for those reasons he'll start with Jesus. I hope he does anyway. But
well, I think those reasons won't really matter. I think he's invested in Gyökeres and making that work, and particularly at home. I absolutely agree that Jesus is certainly worthy of his start just because of the chaos he brought into the front line, a little bit more snappy in the press as well, and just seems to be looking a lot fitter than he has done, which is great. However, we talked about, well, he scored 2 goals in Europe. How can you drop him? He did that to Madueke when Madueke scored 2 goals in Europe. Slightly different context because of Saka on that side. I get that. Absolutely. And also that idea of you want a player who, well, the worry for me is seeing Maguire's performance against Haaland last week, and albeit it might be more on Haaland than anything. Well, but Maguire seemed to relish that, so he's bound to relish the kind of same sort of tussle against Gyökeres. So actually give him something a bit trickier to think about, and that would be the bigger skill set of Gabriel Jesus. But if you want a combination of the two, you want someone who can occupy the defenders when we need that kind of release valve and maybe to draw attention away from them and bring our other players in like Trossard or Saka, whilst also having a player that can maybe pop up in different positions and still be comfortable on the ball and being able to control it. Well, then you might start Mikel Merino up there. Do you know what I mean? Who could give you the best of both worlds. But the fact that we've got those options... someone did point out that there's a clear pattern emerging with Havertz, because he's had 20 minutes, missed a couple of games, 20 minutes, missed a couple of games. That's something they've noticed. So he's really being handled with care for that. But I personally agree. I feel like Jesus might be ready to go. But I think Arteta will go Gyökeres.
Saliba and Gabriel, I think, have started 11 Premier League games this season, played 11 full Premier League games this season as a pairing, and we've had 8 clean sheets in those games.
That's important that they're there. We had that month, didn't we? Most of December, it seemed like there was a new back four every game.
Yeah.
So no wonder that we, wobbled a bit. I say wobbled.
I mean, wobbled, and we've conceded a massive 14 goals so far in 22 games. I'll take that. Chris, score.
It's going to be a tight one, I think. So I'm going 2-1 to us.
I'm going to predict Stef's. Right? I'm going to predict who's gone for a 1-1 draw.
No. I'm erring between 2 scores. It's like one of those digital clocks where the digital number is sort of, is that a 1? Is that 2? Like, what's it doing? It's sort of in between. I don't know. To the point where today, when I had a moment to myself, I literally Googled and used the AI co-pilot and said, what will the result be for Arsenal Man United? And
what did it say?
It gave me this great spiel. Actually, it gave me loads of different answers, which was really annoying. In terms of, the bookies and the form and everything like that, it's Arsenal win. But it doesn't feel like that because it's Man United. And it might not even take into account the fact that they will have changed. Even though it's been a couple of weeks, they will be a different proposition that's harder to predict.
It doesn't work like that either, does it?
It just doesn't work like that either, does it?
Wish it would, it were.
So, I'd 2-1 as well. I'll go 2-1 as well.
Well, we have a full house.
Right. Really?
2 1s. Right, I'm just...
Do you know what I was also mulling over? A 2-2. But then I just thought, I don't know if there's going to be that many goals in the game.
I was so bullish against Villa, 4-1, confident. I've got none of that. I'm just scrolling as we're looking. Chris Sutton has predicted a 2-0 win for us. And AI, because you mentioned AI, and I know that he goes up against AI and a guest. And the AI's prediction is 3-1.
2.
To us. His guest, I can't see what his guest has put down. I don't know who his guest is.
They might not have put it yet.
Sorry, 2-1.
Oh, right, okay.
The guest is 2-1. Someone called Hardwick. Okay.
Oh, it's not the guy, Aina Hardwick. The guy who plays Roy Keane in the film Saigon
it
that's
is.
coming
Yes,
out tomorrow.
yes, it is.
It's probably worth mentioning to everyone that we will open a chat in the Patreon forum so that we can start chucking in some predictions there and team lineups and anything else. Air your grievances there. It's a really lovely community we're building there. So come along and join us. The water's lovely.
Except we won't be there for the game.
Well, no, but leading up to it,
Yeah.
Well, I don't have it on my phone, so because I'm.
If I had reception in my seat, I'd be on it. I promise you.
No, Patreon is good. I mean, people can sign up for free. Yeah, I mean, lots of other places obviously have different memberships and things like that, but we absolutely do it for free. So if you just search the North Bank Pod on Patreon, you'll find us and register. And like I say, at the moment, everything is free. We have chats that for each game that's coming up, and people can share their views and opinions, and it's all very nice and pleasant on there. I've been doing a regular kind of blog when I've been going to the away games and things like that, which I worry is turning into a TripAdvisor like review of all the different stadiums, but it is there, as well as being able to access the podcast, which at the moment is only audio only on Patreon. So if you do want to watch us, we are available on YouTube, which is also at North Bank Pod.
And why would you not want to watch us?
Well, you'll see
Faces
me in
for
my retro
radio.
Arsenal shirt and my books in the background and stuff, so it's all good.
Let me just read out a list of players, okay? Madueke, Martinelli, Gyökeres, Havertz, Eze. All on the bench.
With our team, yeah.
With the team I've selected, yeah. Isn't that just like off the charts quality?
Yes, good. Really good.
So that should, what did Arteta call them? Finishers, his finishers.
Yeah.
Right. Quiz time.
I've got 5. Did you say
You've
there
got
was 7?
5.
Did you say there was 7?
I got 6, but I
You
bet
got 6.
Yeah, I bet you'll discount one of them.
Well,
for some reason.
FB Ref is where I've got this from.
Who am I missing?
Well,
Shall I read them out?
Who should we go with first?
We can go one at a time, can't we?
Do Steph's.
Go one at a time. I'll go first because then Chris will have the last one, won't he? So, Mikel Silvestre. He's the first one that always comes to mind.
35 for us, 313 for them.
Awful signing.
Yeah.
I'll go from the top of my list. RVP.
Yeah, that's my next one. Sickening.
Move on. I'm not commenting on him.
All right. Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, 59 for us, 63 for them.
Welbs with a Z.
Oh,
That'd be the one then.
who?
128 for us, 112 for them. So
How could I forget that guy Welbs?
Yeah. Like
Steph.
Well, the other one in the swap deal with Mkhitaryan, Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, 163 for us, 45 for them. And last one.
He regretted on day one.
The last one I've got is Aiden Heaven.
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I got
22 and 19. That's it. Only 6. Who's done the better out of those deals?
United.
They have comfortably.
Yeah.
They got Sanchez and
RVP won in the league.
Yeah, who shall not be named.
Silvestre did not for us.
Did not. Yeah.
He did no.
I must admit, when I wrote down 35 as number of games played for us alongside his name, and I thought, and every single one of them was a nightmare. Like
a stinker.
Shocker.
Like, oh dear. Anyway, right, okay, so we'll catch up outside block 6 concourse about 45, 60 minutes, Chris, before kickoff.
Possibly.
And if anyone else is there and wants to come and have a chat and have a little sing-song, because it will be pretty lively, the atmosphere, I'm sure, then you're more than welcome. Nice to say hello. And there'll be no instant reaction unless Chris doesn't actually make the game at all.
Because he's held up in Wembley traffic.
Because he's, with all the United fans
on the
coming
North
over.
Circular. Oh, my God.
Maybe we'll cobble something together when we get home, or when I get home, I don't know. Maybe we could record our instant reactions. Yeah, and then I'll cobble it together when I get home.
We'll do
how
that.
about that?
We'll do that. And we'll do a proper... Oh, we've got Carrick. What day's Carrick next week? In the Champions League?
Is it
I don't
Wednesday?
even know. I'm not going.
I think it's
Well,
Wednesday.
be Tuesday or
I think it's
Wednesday. So
Tuesday.
we'll see what kind of pod we'll put
It's
together
Wednesday.
after Wednesday. So we'll stick one out on Monday, if a more detailed one, looking back at United and looking ahead to the last Champions League game. In the meantime, oh dear,
Breathe.
Deep breaths, Holly. Deep breaths.
How many hours, minutes, seconds? No, I wish it was over. Anyway, right, enough's enough about me. Have a great few days. Come on the arse. See you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.